I'm the Honest Coach. I coach girls on going from being nice to connecting with their softness in order to gain control over their life circumstances and relationships with men. So I'm always trying to find new ways to frame what I teach. And let's look at it like this. Most people in relationships, most healthy people that developed healthy attachments, their math problem is very easy. Their relationships are like a math problem. Is 1 plus 1 equals 2. But because of the childhood you had, you are very complicated. And so in relationships, you have a math problem that's like an algebra equation. It's x plus y in parentheses minus 3 plus 4 times 10 equals. You have all these parts that are separated off. So what I aim to do with what I teach is get your equation back together so that you are one, and then help you understand other people's equations so that you interact with them as though they are one. And then from that place, 1 plus 1 equals 2. My cat is on the table. Okay, so what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and help you just get your part of the equation to be one, and then understand the perception of the other person and make sure that your perception of them is one. And so that way, 1 plus 1 equals 2, which means you recognize that you are an individual. The person you're in a relationship with is an individual. So you're being perceived, you're perceiving yourself, and then you're perceiving them outside of you. They're perceiving themselves, they're perceiving you outside of them. Now you're both in reality. But that is not what your lens is like when you have a nice girl complex, when you split off from parts of yourself and then you chase after someone's affection and approval, what I constantly am talking about. And so when we look at just the equation of you, which is, the x plus y in the parentheses and all these parts, they're parts of yourself that you split off from. They're parts of yourself. They're things that you want. They're the way that you like to feel. They're the things that you want to feel. They're the things that you want in life. They're the things that you have interest in. And so we take those parts and we identify them by reconnecting with how we want to feel. When you connect with how you want to feel, and you may have different ways you want to feel on different things. In my experience, there's usually one word that describes how you want to feel across all areas of your life, and that is the one word that you were split off from. That is the one quality that you were constantly split off from, and experienced a lot of abandonment around that one topic. You could call it a core wound. Psychologists call it a core wound. Anyways, you want to get in touch with how you want to feel so that you can reintegrate that. And now you are one. You're not x plus y in parentheses minus this. That. You're just one. And then you're going to be only attracted to another partner that also is one. And then you make two. I'm not sure where that left off. So, anyways, what I teach is you want to connect with how you want to feel, and anything and anything that's not making you feel the way you want to feel, you just leave it alone and you move in the direction of chasing whatever it is you want to feel, whatever that word is. I always give the example of desired. In a relationship, I want to feel desired. So I'm only going to interact with men that are going to treat me, that make me feel desired. And that's the way that you move. But also, we can get in touch with these parts in a more creative way. One of my favorite ways is what characters in TV shows or comic books or movies or what verses in songs make you feel really satisfied. So like a great example for me is because I've always cared so much about animals, and I also have always cared so much about women. Catwoman has always been like my hero. And she's a villain. But for the part of me that feels like the world is unjust, the part of me that experienced that the world was unjust, Catwoman is like my all-time favorite hero of all time. She stands up for animals. She's connected with animals. And I think maybe she's misunderstanding and she's a little too angry and it causes more problems. But what caused her to become that way is very understandable. Catwoman's psyche for me is a very understandable psyche. And I just adore her. I adore Poison Ivy. I loved Poison Ivy. She's here to protect plants from the evilness of bad people and like humanity, the evilness in humanity that just wants to destroy the planet and destroy the plants. So, like, those are characters that I feel very satisfied. Well, those are parts of you. Those are parts of your math equation that make you you, that you probably split off from because, well, you can't be Catwoman, she's bad, she's a villain. You can't be Poison Ivy, she's bad, she's a villain. Well, there's reasons why they're fighting. And for their psyche, they think they're fighting for good. They think they're good. They don't know they're bad because they're fighting for what's important for them. Anyways, you can go through movies and TV shows and you can find the scenes that, I mean, it probably stands out to you already. You have a favorite movie, you have a favorite movie scene, and you feel so satisfied when you watch it. Well, that's because that is a part of you, and you need that part to make you one. And now 1 + 1 = 2. And those are creative ways. So basically, what my content here to do is to help you gather up all the components of your equation and put them back together so that your math equation makes sense. And then we can approach how his math equation needs to make sense and why you got to be 1 and he's got to be 1 and that equals 2 and that is correct, because it's not going to feel correct because of the childhood that where you developed attachments was so scrambled. And you had to split off from all these parts and you had to wear all these masks. And now you're this elaborate math equation in relationships. And you don't have to be anymore. So anyways, I try to teach a very simplified version. And I also offer a lot of understanding around his motivations and what he's doing. And so I can help in all these ways. But basically, how do you want to feel? Make that your only goal. How you want to feel. Write that word down. And you just chase that. You do whatever makes you feel that. And that will help you more than anything recompose so that you become whole. And then from a whole place, we can approach relationships. If that helps you understand that frame of it. Blessed be.